Come back Sundays 4 to 6 p.m. abbreviated transmission. And I'm sorry, I'm not talking about the big political distraction, the big political diversion of the Harvard professor arrested at his house. You know, I have documented the Constitution's under attack. Many police forces are arrogant and out of control. But I know a lot of white guys. In fact, I know one of them this week that got arrested similarly in Round Rock, smarting off to cops, asking questions to him in his front yard. I know somebody else got arrested, smart-mouthing a cop just a little bit at a traffic stop. And they just arrest you now, folks. They just taser you now if you look at them crosswise. And it's this huge distraction now, and it energizes racial divisions. Last night I watched Bill Maher on HBO while I was running on the treadmill. Got home at 11 p.m., short Saturday work day. Went in there and hit it for about an hour. And just watch that little bastard. I could do an entire show just on the way he twisted and reaffirmed the left-right paradigm and hyped up race in the name of fighting racism. They want us all fighting with each other while the bankers rule over us. And so that's why they love this issue with the cops and the black professor. I think the cops were spoiled brats, and I think the guy was a spoiled brat who all had chips on their shoulders. The cops were going to let him know they were the boss, and he was going to let them know that he thought they were racist. Now, a racist neighbor may have called because they saw a black guy going in a house, and I have no doubt that the crime of driving while black is a serious problem because I've seen it for myself, even growing up in Dallas. But people call the cops on people they don't recognize everywhere now. It's a tattletale society. Look, side issue, we got a medical doctor on the line wants to talk about stuff, and Cheryl in France finishing up first. Cheryl, finish up your point.
Okay, my point is that we have to stay focused. I have a friend who was in the Iraq War, and he was a paramedic, and the doctor said, don't waste your time with those people. Just keep helping and working, and I'll tell you when to stop.
Triage.
When there's no more hope. So we have to have a plan of action. We have to convince everyone we know not to take the vaccination. And if somebody doesn't want to hear it, they don't want to know about it, we can't waste our time with them. We just have to move on and convince others. And we have to also have a line of defense, and that's our own health. We have to keep our own health up. So that means our rest, eating properly, healthy food, water, having a water system, not drinking the water that comes out of the tap, especially when people are going to be sick. You know, that recycles through the city water system. So we have to have, at the same time, our health kept up and our line of action. And maybe we will see terrible things, but we can't freak out. We've got to stay focused. That's my point.
I hear you, and God bless you. You made some great points. It's just, as a father, as a radio broadcaster, I think one reason I have success is I'm real. And a lot of times I fundamentally get upset and just rage against the machine. I just want to throw my weight against it. It's so obvious. It's so ridiculous. I used the analogy earlier of being in a car. And you're not driving. Somebody else is driving, and you're going 120 miles an hour through windy roads, and you just know they're going to slide off the road. You just know they're going to wreck. And then you feel the car start sliding, and you know you're going to wreck, and you look at the idiot, and they're laughing. And then it's like Groundhog Day. It just happens over and over and over again. And my God, in 76, it was the swine flu vaccine that killed the people. In fact, I'm going to play a little clip of that in a moment. But right now, let's go to David in Texas. David, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, thanks for having me on. We've had 2 cases of swine flu documented by Culture in our office, and these people were both not seriously ill. They felt bad for a day, had a terrible cough, had a headache, had some fever. By the time they got to see me, they were really in pretty good shape, and a lot of people wouldn't have even suspicioned that they had flu. We checked them for flu. They had that. We sent the cultures off to the state lab, and sure enough, they had the swine flu. No harm, no foul with this disease. In order for thousands or hundreds of thousands of people to be seriously affected, it's going to have to mutate. It's going to have to change. My guess, though, is that it's not going to do that, but that the real problem, as you suspicion, is going to be with the vaccine itself and the dangers that will be from that. I was in medical school in the 70s when they were passing these things out, and it was all the discussion about should we or should we not take that. Most of my friends did not take the swine flu vaccine because they were afraid to take it. Now we see that the health department, the federal health department, has given blanket immunity to the vaccine manufacturers so that they're completely immune from any consequences of the swine flu vaccine when it comes out. So they've dodged thousands of claims that are inevitably going to come as a result of harmful effects from this vaccine.
Yeah, when the federal government comes out and starts mandating it, then the vaccine damage fund kicks in, as you know. And so you're saying as a medical doctor, though, you've seen 2 cases in your office, that it's a mild flu. That's what all the other doctor reports say. I've talked to people at high levels in the state. I was given a secret document that we were really going to level 6 back in April. People laughed at me. They wouldn't even call the numbers on the secret document. It was a real document. That's now confirmed that we were under level 6. We know that the swine flu killed thousands of people, the swine flu vaccine in 76. I'm asking you as a medical doctor, looking at all these pieces, and back in March, I had the emergency managers on and reporters on, and I have an FBI source and a federal marshal source saying, look for some flu hype coming up in the fall. So I started getting on air. Then they pre-hyped it in April, kind of priming the pump. Clearly this is organized and engineered as a hoax. The question is there teeth to this, or is there some mutagen that's going to be in the vaccine? I don't know, but looking at it, it's really freaking me out. What do you say to that?
I think that you have to look to the deeper reasons of why all of the hype, why the panic. And it could well be used for multiple reasons. It could just be money. It could just be funneling billions of dollars to vaccine manufacturers. But I think they're just willing, they're willing participants in this because of the money. And the real deeper reason is for control. And I think if you can have people who end up getting sick from the vaccine, you can say, well, gosh, it mutated on us, and we did our very best, and we're sorry that you got sick from the vaccine, but we really try to do that better next time. And maybe what we really need to have is we need to have universal health care, because we could have acted faster and more deliberately if that happened.
Exactly. And this is what I said in March 5th show, that at the very time that this is going to be breaking out, and they almost shut the country down for just a few deaths. Imagine the real flu season going on, and Austin had emergency tents and army running around. The banking bill, the water bill, the gun grab bill, the socialized health care bill, the hate bills. All of this is going to be happening right when this is going on, and we have just got to expose this, speak out against it, big time, or they're going to get away with it. And either way, if it's just hype to sell vaccines and further federalize things and train us to go under UN control because that's who's running all this, that's bad enough, but that's the lesser of two evils. If it is some real bio attack these guys are engineering, we're in deep trouble because, listen, they're running around getting everybody ready in every county and city for mass graves and checkpoints and locking down cities and forced inoculations. And that's my question to you, Doc, in closing. And we'll go to more calls. They're announcing that they have implemented level 6, that the executive order signed by Bush, reauthorized by Obama, it's in the 13,000 series. In fact, I want to pull that. Guys, Google swine flu quarantine executive order, CBS News, and because I want to put that on screen, and it's 13,300 and something. But my question to you, sir, is that they're saying they're going to try to forcibly inoculate. But in 2002, 2003, they tried to force all medical workers and police to take it, and you guys said no resoundingly. So how will this get off the ground if the medical workers won't take it?
Well, I think what's going to happen is it's not going to be medical workers giving it. They're going to give it at the stadiums. They're going to give it at the civic centers. And they're going to have non-professional people giving these vaccines. We have pharmacists giving vaccines all the time in this city. They're going to find plenty of people willing to give the vaccine. And my prediction is...
Stay there. I want to hear your prediction when we come back in 3 minutes. Stay there, David.